So in this video, we're going to learn how to use the HTTP client code using our 4G development board. Now this method can be really useful when you want to request some APIs of a third-party cloud platform without using Wi-Fi using the 4G network. So let's get started. So now before moving ahead with the code part, make sure the 4G module is connected properly with the microcontroller board of your choice. The SIM card is inserted in correct position. The voltage level switch is at the right position. All the antennas are connected to the respective slot. And the module is powered up properly with a 9 volt to 12 volt 2 ampere power supply. Now the 4G board used in this video is available for sale on our website, whose purchase link is down in the description of this video. And now let's move ahead with the code part. So here is the code for the HTTP client, and this code requires two libraries. One is the techiesms, other is the Arduino HTTP client library, which you can get it by going into the library manager, and first let's just search for techiesms. In my case I have the version 0.11.7 installed. After that, here you can search for HTTP client and install this Arduino HTTP client library. In my case I have the version 0.6.0. After that, this code is compatible with all the 4 boards like ESP8266, ESP32, Arduino Mega and Arduino Uno. In my case, I am using the Arduino Uno for showing the demonstration. Now this code do require a couple of changes to be made, so let me guide you. So first thing you need to provide is the APN name. Well, APN name can be different for different network provider, and how to find that? Well, for that you just need to go to google.com and here just type out your network provider name. In my case it is VI, and then type out as 4G APN name. And as you can see, it provided the APN name for VI as www. So here I'll provide as www. After that, here you need to provide the server and the address on which you want to make that request. This is the example code I took from the techiesms examples only. So this was the by default server and the address provided in the code, which will give us the techiesms text in response. In your case, if you want to request to any third-party cloud server at a particular address, you need to change the server name and the resource as well. After that, you need to provide the port number. Now, the port number for HTTP request is 80. Now after that, inside the loop part, what we are doing is we are making the HTTP GET request at the particular address of that server, and if the status is 200 OK, we are taking the response and storing it in the header name and header value respectively, which will be printed onto the serial monitor, and that's the basic code. And here after making the request, it will stop the connection and it will also disconnect from GPRS as well. Now below that, I have commented some line of code which will help you to power off the 4G module. So in case if after the request, if you want to power off the 4G module, you just need to uncomment this line of code and it will be shut down. So that was it about the code. Now I'll select the right board and COM port and let's just hit the upload button. Okay, so code is successfully uploaded. I'll open the serial monitor. Now here make sure the baud rate is set to 9600, and here it is selected as both NL and CR. And here as you can see, it says techiesms 4G development board powering up, and we need to wait for a couple of seconds to boot up the device. It successfully made the request and we got the response code at 200. It means that the request was successful. We got all the response headers, and also as you can see, we got the techiesms returned here. That was the response coming from the server side. So that's how you can make the HTTP client based request using our 4G development board. That will be really helpful for your IoT projects when you make some requests to a third party cloud server. So in this episode, we use the HTTP client library, but I do have another example code in which we can do the same HTTP GET request without using the Arduino HTTP client library. So check out the links in the description for the code used in this project, and also to check out the video about how to do the HTTP GET request without using the HTTP client library. All the links are in the description. So keep watching, keep learning, and keep making.